Hey, hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening, friends. Right. So, welcome back to our day three on SQL crash course. So, the database management simplified. Right. So, we have successfully completed 2 days and we are ready for the day three. So, friends, we'll quickly understand what we have covered in the recent class, the last class, and then we'll actually, start the topic for the day. In the last class, we started with SQL commands. Okay, we understood how we are supposed to install MySQL. Okay, the process. Then followed by we started with SQL commands. The topic. So SQL commands is a very important topic because this is actually going to define now the all the five languages that we have under the SQL commands are very important. The reason is these are the foundations of structured query language, right? Yep. So in the previous class, we have understood DDL and DQL. Okay, so what does DDL and DQL exactly mean? We'll quickly recover. Okay, we'll quickly recap. DDL stands for Data Definition Language, which helps us to define the structures, okay, of the objects. It might be a database, a table. We can create a view. Whatever might be the object can be defined. Okay, if not, it can be altered. If not, it can be dropped. Okay, so the commands that we have under DDL are create, alter, truncate, and drop. So what exactly does create command does? Create command helps us to create new objects. Okay, so we created a database, started with the database. What is a query, friends? The query is very simple. The syntax is simple. Create database, database name. This is the syntax. Then followed by once after creating any of the database, and if you are supposed to use it, make sure we have to go and use database name. This query has to be executed. If you don't run this query, you know that particular database will not be selected. Okay, so that particular database will not be selected, and probably whatever you're trying to do will go in vain, right? So let me execute this line, because as we are aware that all the tables are present on the company DB database. So I'm using company underscore DB database. After creating a database, again we also understood that how to create a database with you know special characters. In MySQL, we are supposed to use backticks. These are represented as, these are nothing but backticks. Make sure your database name or table name or view name, whatever it might be, if it is having special characters, ensure that you use backticks. If not, it will throw you error. Right? Yes. Then we also understood SQL is not case sensitive. Okay. Even we have proved it in the studies class. Followed by we created tables. What is the syntax? The syntax is again same. It is create table name, but make sure you are supposed to define at least one column. At least one column name should be provided with the data type, the schema. Okay, so try executing only this part, you'll get an error. Okay, asking you to define at least one column, because a table is a combination of rows and columns. So when you are defining your table, when you are creating your table, you are supposed to, you know, define at least one column. You are supposed to come up with at least one column. Okay, so for that one column, you should also pass the data definition, that is data type. Okay, so we created employees table and the students table. understood the create command, then followed by alter command. So alter helps us to modify the structure. Okay, for suppose if I want to add a new column to the existing table, go and use alter. The syntax is again very simple. Alter table name, then the keyword that you are supposed to use is add column name followed by data type, data definition. Okay, what if you want to remove an existing column from the table? Again the same command, alter, but instead of add, use drop keyword. Use drop keyword and explicitly mention it as column. Okay, so it should be like drop column name. Right, then what if you would like to modify the data type of an existing column? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. So the keyword that you are supposed to use is modify. Okay, use modify keyword and come up with the data type that you are going to change. In the same way, you can modify the constraints. Okay, so what are these constraints and all we'll discuss. Alter command is also clear. Then next to alter command under DDL we have drop command. What does drop command does? Drop command permanently removes the objects from the system. Okay, so for example, if I want to drop a database, the syntax will be like drop database name. What if I would like to drop a table? The syntax will be drop table name. So whatever might be the object, okay. So make sure you specify. You should be very clear that what exactly this object is. Is it a database or a table or a view or whatever it might be? Okay, make it clear so that you'll follow the syntax. Okay, so this particular object will be dropped, it will be removed. Okay, when you are dropping a table, the entire physical structure of the table will be removed, friends. Okay, so I'll just do it in the coming topics, I mean probably today. Then followed by truncate. The next command under DDL is truncate. Truncate helps us to remove only the logical structure, whereas the physical structure will be as is. What does this logical structure represent? It represents the rows, the records. Okay, when you use truncate command, all the records, that is nothing but your data from the table, will be removed. But is the table removed? No. That means I'll have the employees table as is, in which I'll not have the records when I use truncate command. Clear? Then we also understood DQL command, that is select. What is the purpose of using DQL command is to fetch the data, to retrieve the data. We are supposed to use select command. Select. What is the syntax? The syntax is select star from table name. This asterisk mark is representing all, the entire data. Okay, so whatever data present in the students table will be retrieved, will be fetched. No, if that is not your requirement, if your requirement is to only get a specific column or only 2 columns or 3 columns, you know you are supposed to specify the column names. Column 1, then column 2, column 3, so on. Instead of star, you are supposed to fetch. If you are supposed to fetch only few columns, yes, specify the column names. Now, if I want to fetch only, based on a condition, okay, I have a condition. For example, in this table name, I mean, in this table, if I want to fetch the data of the students whose first name has only 5 characters. So if I have such kind of conditions, then you are supposed to use clauses. Clauses comes into the picture. Okay, next to data types and operators, we have clauses. We'll also discuss what are these clauses, right? So let us not complicate ourselves. We are just at the starting stage of this particular program. We'll make ourselves learn new topics, right? Yep. So successfully, we have recapped all the topics that we have covered in the yesterday's session. Let us start with the new topic. So done with DDL and done with the DQL. The next topic that we have, the next language that we have is DML, data manipulation language. What is the general meaning of manipulation in English? Come on, friends. Use chat. What do you mean by manipulating? We generally use this word, right? Hey, you're trying to manipulate me. So what do you generally mean by manipulation? Guys, don't sit idle. Try to respond. Yep. Change, modify. Okay. So all of these represent the same manipulation. So what we are trying to manipulate, we are going to manipulate the data. Okay. We are going to manipulate the data which is present inside a table. Right. So the commands that we have under this DML language are insert, update, and delete. So these are the three commands that we have under DML. Okay, so let us start understanding these three commands under DML. Insert command. Insert. So we are trying to insert the data. Okay, so it's nothing but if you want to add records to the table, you are supposed to go and use insert command. What is the syntax of insert command? Insert command syntax is given in this way: insert into table name, then followed by column 1, column 2, so on. How many columns you have, you are supposed to mention all the columns, then followed by values, keyword, and within the braces you are supposed to pass value 1, value 2, value 3, so on. Okay, so insert command has two different syntaxes, friends. One is specifying the column names and then passing the values to the column names. If not, you can directly skip the column names and directly uh, insert the values. Insert into table name followed by values. Either of the way it works, but in general, either syntax 1 is used or syntax 2 is used. Both of them are actually used, but in what situation is syntax 1 used and in what situation is syntax 2 used? Is syntax 1 is used when you want to skip any one of the column. That means, see, if I don't want to pass a value for column 1, okay, I would like to insert a value directly into column 2. I don't have any value for column 1. Okay, in that cases, okay, in such case, you are supposed to go and use the syntax 1. How? Yes, insert into table name followed by, column 1 you are going to skip, then specify column 2. Okay, the values, under values you'll have the value for the column 2. Okay, so this is how you can pass the values by skipping the columns. But in general, if you want to pass the values for all the columns, then go and use second syntax of insert. Okay, anyhow, let us try both. I'll try to insert the data using syntax 1 as well as syntax 2. So this is syntax 1. Observe carefully. So what am I doing? I'm inserting the data into students table. Where do I have the students table? Students table is present inside company DB. Okay, the one that I have selected. Okay, so how many columns do I have? I have 5 columns. Student ID, first name, last name of the student, followed by the date of birth, and finally email. Am I passing all the values? Yes, I'm passing all the values for a student. Okay, so here are the values, right? So what I'm doing, I'm trying to insert, selected the entire command, then execute it. So let us go and check whether the data has been inserted or not. So what is the syntax? In order to fetch the data, you're supposed to use select command, right? So select star from the table name, that is students, should be used. So I'm executing. I'll get what happened. Sorry, my bad. Clear? Is it inserted? Yep. The first student details have been inserted successfully in the same way. See, one Alice Brown, the date of birth, and that mail ID. Done. Then what makes the difference when you use syntax 2? The only difference that you'll observe is you'll not specify the column names. Not required. See, even in the case 2, I'm passing all the values for the column names. But am I specifying the column names? No. I'm not specifying any of the column names. Right? So in general, syntax 2 is used when you want to pass the values, when you want to insert the values for all the columns. Then when is syntax 1 is used? Syntax 1 is used when you want to skip the values for some of the columns. That means when you want to insert the values only for a specified number of columns. Then specify the column, the value. Specify the column, the value. Okay. So let me execute this as well. Done. I'll fetch the data. So in total, I have 4 records. So yesterday someone was asking me, right? Akhil, use truncate. Truncate was being executed yesterday, but still majority of us, we did not have a clear picture, right? So let me use truncate command one more time, and in this way, I'm going to use it on students table, not on the employees table. Let me use it on students. So it gives a picture. In students table, how many records do I have? 4 records, right? So let me use truncate command on the students table and see what happens. Is it executed? Yep, it is. So what did we understand from the truncate command? Truncate command helps us to, remove all the records from the table. It is nothing but it is going to remove the logical structure. So let me go and check whether the records are being removed or not. For that, I'm using select command. Are the records removed? Yes. All the records present in the students table. So far I had 4 records. Now I don't see any one of the record. That is because of truncate command. Truncate command helps us to remove the logical structure for a table. But is the table removed? No. Table was not removed. I still have students table as it is. So the physical structure will be as is, friends. Okay, that makes the difference. So anyhow, I hope it's clear. It's giving you good understanding now, probably, because yesterday we don't have the data in the table and we are unable to understand the truncate command, but now it's clear. Let me do these lines again. I'll execute one more time because I want to have data for further use also. Yeah, done. So is it clear? Clear with insert commands? There are two ways of inserting the data. One is, either specify the column names, then the values. If not, skip the column names. You can directly insert the values. And how many records can be inserted? Actually, you can insert n number of records. Okay, so here I'm inserting only one record at a time, but here 3 at a time. I'm inserting 3 records, right? Yeah. Next comes update command. So update command, update generally means to update the things. If you want to modify the existing data in a table, okay, so you're supposed to use update command. But how can update command actually modifies the data is using some conditions, friends. So let us understand the syntax of update command. Update command syntax is update table name, then set keyword, column 1 is equals to value 1, column 2 is equals to value 2. That means whatever the values that you want to update, in which column you want to update, specify them with the condition. So here we are going to use the conditions. What is this where condition? Where is a clause in SQL? What do you mean by clause? Clause is a topic that we are going to discuss in future. Let us not worry about those things, but focus for time being, just focus on how update works. That's it. See, I'm using update command. Let us one more time understand this. The syntax is update table name. Okay, so update students. Students is my table name, followed by set keyword. Set email is equals to a new mail ID. Okay, so under email column, this has to be updated. I mean, john.new email at the rate explain.com. Sorry, example.com. Okay, so what is the condition that we have? Where the condition says the first name should be John and last name should be Smith. So wherever the condition is met, only there, you know, this command tries to update the values. If the first name is John and the last name is Smith, so there the email gets updated. Before that, let us have a quick look at the data. Do we have any records matching the condition? The condition says first name John, yes, and the last name is Smith. So record 2, it is satisfying the condition. The condition is met. So what happens? Under the email column, instead of john.smith@example.com, it will be updated to john.newemail@example.com. So let us execute. and see the output. Selected, executed successfully. Then let me fetch the data to see the results. Yep, I see the new mail ID in the picture. Clear? See, I'm just taking a basic examples, friends. And if you observe, the syntaxes are like English language. English, update table name, set email is equals to the new mail ID. Okay, where first name should be this one and last name should be this one. Wherever these two are met, okay, if they are same values, there the new mail ID gets replaced. Clear? Yes. Then, so in the same way, can I also have one more example? Yes, we have a number of examples. Let me, this time I'll not speak. You are the one who have to, uh, look out the syntax, I mean the query, and yep. So understand the query. What exactly are we doing here? We are going to update the students table with first name and the last name. So the first name and the last name values will be updated where there is a condition. What is a condition? The condition says if the student ID is 1. Okay. So there the first name and the last name should be updated. But before that, who is the student that we have at ID 1? It is Ellis Brown. Right? So instead of Ellis Brown, we'll have Jacob Steve. I hope it's making sense. Yes or no, friends? Yes, exactly. So it's very simple. SQL is not a tough language to learn because when you do good, when you invest good amount of time for practice, you know, these syntaxes, only thing that you are supposed to do is memorize them. Okay, you can be professional in SQL some point of time. Sorry. So let me execute. Done. So let me fetch the data using select command. I see the values got updated. Okay. Yes. Now, next to update, we have the last command of DML. It is delete. So what does delete command does? Delete command is used to remove the records from the table. Okay. So I'm using delete command. The syntax is very simple, friends. Delete from the table name. I mean, whatever the table name we have, delete from the table name by specifying the condition. Okay, when you specify the condition accordingly, the delete command will remove the records from the table. So let me explain with an example. The syntax delete from the table name. The condition is where student ID is 2. If the student ID is 2, just delete that record. Oh, isn't it? Yes, that's it. So how many records? We should have only 3 records. The second record, student ID 2, record should be removed. Is it removed? Yes. Okay. So, you know, delete command helps us to remove the data. I mean, the records upon the condition. Whatever the condition that we use, whatever the condition that we specify, so using that specified condition, it removes, deletes the data, the records from the table. Then If not, what if you want to delete all the records from the table? Simple. Keep it as delete from students. Don't specify any condition. This will ensure you to remove the entire all the records from the table. Done. Let me fetch the data using select command. No record. There is no record. So what it is doing is it is removing all the records. All the rows are being removed from the table. But one thing that you are supposed to understand is it similar to truncate? Yes, it is similar to truncate because truncate is also, you know, it is removing the records from the table. Only the logical structure was being removed, but the physical structure will be as is. Right. So this marks the end of DML commands: insert, modify, update and delete. Okay. Next to DML, we have DCL, data control language. So you are going to control the data. Is it possible to control the data? It's nothing but, you're going to control the privileges, the permissions, the access. Okay. So what are the commands that we have under DCL are grant and revoke. We have two commands under DCL. One is grant and the next one is revoke. Okay. What does this grant? What is the general meaning of grant, friends? Grant means, uh, give access. You're granting permission, right? So it's like giving something. But in case of grant command, you're granting the privileges, the permission, the access. Yes. So the syntax is very simple. Grant privilege on object to user. Since you are granting, it will be to user. Okay. So this is again a shortcut that I generally, ask my students to remember. So grant, you are granting to a user. So grant to user. But revoke, you are supposed to take back. So it will be revoke from user. Okay. So that is one shortcut that you are supposed to memorize so that you may not by heart these syntaxes. Right. So grant privileges on object to user is the syntax for grant command. But before I grant the privileges, I should have first a user created. How many users do I have here? I have only one user, right? So let me create one more user using create command. Then let me grant some permissions for the new user. Okay, right. For that, I'm going to create a new user using create command. The syntax is again simple. Create user, username at the rate followed by the server. Okay, it's local host as I have MySQL in my local machine. Okay, it is local host the server. What is the username? Kalam. Okay, identified by the password, user password, right? So let me execute. 1 minute. It's good. Why it's denying? 1 minute. So am I missing out anything? It's user keyword, then followed by the username. Localhost is, yes, same, identified by password. If not, let me do one thing. I'll create a user manually. Not okay. So I'll keep it as test username standard host. Right. Why it's denying the access? Okay. Anyways, I'll no work out on this. It has to work because there is no syntax error. Probably it is not allowing you to use this. No, the local host. It has created. Anyways, I'll get back to you, friends, on this. No, creating a user. Probably in the next session, I'll show you how you are supposed to. The port number. Are we going to specify in the? I mean, the query. Not exactly right. I don't think port number is also required. Fine. I'll explain the create command here itself. See, after creating a new user, it is Abdul Kalam. I mean, it's Kalam. What I do is I'll grant the permission. What permission am I giving? What privilege I'm giving to this user is I'm just giving only the update privilege on students. See, just map the syntax with the query. I'm giving update privilege on students table to the user. Okay, so this will ensure that this user has the update command. I mean, they have the update privilege on students. So he or she can update the data which is present in the students table. In the same way, can I also grant any other commands? Yes, you can grant any of the commands. You can grant insert, update, select, all. Right? So I'm also granting the select. In general, when you work in the real time, you have only the select command privilege. The reason is as data is very precious in the real time. Okay, they'll not have any kind of update or delete or insert command privileges. The reason being why they trust us, because it's their data, right? And this data is very precious, right? So in order to get the information of all the privileges, you know go and just use this query, show grants for the user. So this will give the list of grants that were being uh, given access to the user. Okay, once after providing the privileges, you can also take back these privileges. You can take back these permissions using revoke command. Grant is for providing and revoke is to remove those permissions. Whatever we have granted can be revoked. The syntax is similar to grant. Okay, so it is grant privilege on object to user, right? So revoke, it will be like revoke privilege on user, I mean on object from user. Okay, so whatever the grants that were given earlier can be revoked. Yes. So here is an example. Revoke insert on students. So on students table, I am revoking the insert command. Okay. So I'm taking back the insert command permission for the same user. If not, if you would like to stop all the privileges, you would like to take all the privileges back, then the keyword is revoke all privileges. The all privileges should be specified for the username. Okay, in this way you can control the permissions, either you would like to grant or revoke can be done, because no one has the privilege for the entire data in an organization, except the stakeholders, probably the CEOs. Apart from them, if you're an employee, if you're working as a manager or team lead or whoever it might be, upon your project, okay, upon the requirement, they'll just provide only the permissions for the required data. Okay, not for each and every data present in the database. Impossible. Okay, who is going to do all these functions are database administrators. So probably you might have heard this role called DBAs, database administrator, the one who looks after the databases in the real time, are called as database administrators. And these folks, in general, they use these two commands more: grant, revoke, grant and revoke. Okay, so what exactly their role is: to grant the permissions and to revoke the permissions. Okay, so if there is any server fall, okay, and this is a 24/7 job where because the server should not be down. Once the server went down, no, that's it, gone case. So that is the reason these folks, they'll work in different shifts, and probably they'll maintain the databases in a good condition. Okay, once if the servers go down, there is a lot of impact on the business. Got it? Yep. So probably I think if you have created this user, then it would have worked for us. But anyways, I'll work on it. Why it's not creating? Earlier I have done it work, but anyways, I'll work on it, friends. No issues. I hope it's clear. Anyhow, we got some idea regarding grant and revoke commands, right? Yes. Then next to DCL, we have TCL, the last language in SQL commands. It is transaction control language. Like how we are able to control the data using the commands, we can also control the transactions, isn't it? Yes. Yes, we can control the transactions. Okay, how we are able to control the manage the transactions inside a database is using TCL commands. What are the TCL commands that we have? We have commit, rollback, and save point. There are three main commands under TCL: commit, rollback, and save point. So I'll talk about the first command. Again, these three are very simple with respect to syntax and with respect to understanding also. These three are very simple. The first one is commit. Commit helps us to save the changes, you know, permanently during the transaction. When you use the syntax commit, this will ensure that the whatever the changes that you do will be saved. Okay, so here is an example. What am I doing here? I'm inserting the data. I'm using insert command, and using insert command, I'm trying to insert the data. But to how many columns am I inserting? Am I inserting to the all the columns? No. I'm inserting just the values for 4 columns. So if you would like to skip any one of the column, you're supposed to use insert command syntax 1, not the 2. Okay. So specify the column, then the value, column value, column value. It's like that. So based on the column, it goes and the value gets inserted. So in this case, I don't have email friends. But will it execute? Yes, it will execute. Okay. So if you would like to me do it, I'll do it. Just have a look. So you see here, what am I doing? I'm inserting the data into students table and I'm executing, but I'm inserting only into the 4 columns. It got inserted. Let me fetch the data using select. Is it done? Yes. What kind of value you see in email? It's a null. I don't have any value for email. That doesn't mean it throws an error. It will. It will execute. Okay. So once if you are done with the operation, you go and use commit. Okay. Ensure you go and use commit command. The reason is commit command is going to save the transactions. Okay, that particular transaction will be saved. So let me go and use commit. The syntax is very simple, just commit, done. So that means these transactions got saved. Then in the same way, I'm trying to insert one more record. Okay, then using commit command. Next to commit, we have rollback. What does this rollback does? Rollback exactly performs, the undo operation. Okay, so when you use rollback, what happens is, in general, we use Control Z as a shortcut for undo. Okay, so that what happens, it is going to undo that specific thing. It is restoring back to the original position. In the same way, if you feel that if something has lost, okay, so it is going to reverse the changes during that particular transaction. You know, rollback helps us to perform undoing. What is the syntax? The syntax is again saying only the keyword. Keep it as rollback. Okay, here is a small example. I'm starting the transaction to ensure that to the server that I'm beginning a transaction and using the keyword that start transaction. Okay, then I'm updating an email using update command. What is the email? This is the email, new email, where the student ID is 102. So at this position for this person, for this student, you know, the email will be updated. Done. If you feel that, okay, you can fetch the data using select star from students. So using select command, I can fetch the entire data. Okay. Once after getting the data, you will see this email for this student. Right. If you believe that it's not done, I mean, it's not the right data, you can just go and use rollback. When you use rollback, it undoes the operation, it undoes the transaction. Again, that particular email will be removed and you'll have only null. Got it? So commit for saving the transactions permanently, and rollback for undoing the transactions. Okay, for restoring back to the previous state, we are going to use rollback friends. No, start transaction is just a what kind of keywords that you have to ensure that we are starting as a fresh. Okay, so I'm starting the transaction here followed by the update, and if I believe that it's not done in the right way, I'll go back using rollback. Okay, it's not part of no rollback. Don't assume the start transaction is part of rollback. No. Okay, so next to rollback, we have the last one. It is save point. Okay, so what is this save point? Save point is nothing but it is going to set a point within a transaction where or which allows you just to roll back friends. Only for roll backing to a certain point. See, I have written my queries in this way. Okay, and if I'm able to uh, set some save points, okay, I can have multiple save points in the query. In the script that I'm coming up with, I can create a save point here, a save point here, okay, with different names, a save point here. What is the syntax? The syntax is save point name. The syntax is very simple. Okay, the syntax is save point and the save point name, whatever it might be. How many save points can you have in a script? Is n number of save points you can create. What does this save point helps us is, this save point helps us to set the points initially, and if you feel that if it is not going in the right way, if the transactions are not going in the right way, excuse me, you can roll back to that set particular save point. Okay, see, for example, I'll set a save point here, save point probably save point 1, okay, save point 2, save point 3. Okay, but I felt that whatever the things that were being done so far are not done in the right way. Can I roll back? Yes. To whatever level, whatever the point that you have, you mention that save point number with the name. Okay, so to that level you can roll back. Okay, so that is the primary use of save points. It helps us to roll back to that particular point in the transactions. So here is an example. See what I'm doing, I'm inserting the record. I'm inserting a record, okay, with 4 values. And after that, okay, before that, what did I do? I have created a save point. What is the name of the save point? Before underscore insert. So it is my wish. It's upon the end user, whatever the name they can use for the save point. Okay. So I have used before underscore insert as the name of the save point. Then I tried inserting a record, done. Can I go back to this point? Can I undo and go back to this point? Yes. That is the benefit of save point. How? Here is the syntax. Roll back to save point name. That's it. So you are undoing the transaction till a certain point in your script. Then once if you feel that it's in a particular or right path, go with commit. Commit is going to anyhow save your transactions permanently, right? Okay, so TCL commands, whatever it might be, commit, rollback, and save point, with respect to the syntaxes, they are very simple. Only commit, rollback, and save point name. Okay, the syntaxes are very simple. When it comes to the application of these TCL commands, they are widely used. Okay, it might be commit for permanently saving the transactions, we use commit. For undoing the transactions, for undoing till a certain level, okay, if you have save points, If you have set some save points in your script, you can use save point command. Okay, so these are the differences and the purpose of TCL commands under SQL commands. Okay, at a quick glance, I'll talk about all the commands that we have in SQL. In total, there are 5 languages, and these 5 languages are very important as they are the foundations of SQL. Okay, when you are a fresher, I mean, if you are a fresher and if you are, applying for any jobs related to data, especially, a data analyst, a data engineer, or a data scientist, even a engineer, ML engineer, whomever it might be, if your role is related to data, for sure they expect, I mean, the organization expect SQL as a primary from you. And if you are a fresher, you can expect question these commands. Okay, so totally languages: DDL, DQL, DML, then DCL and TCL. Okay, so just go through all the commands and understand the purpose. Do hands-on because this is not a tough job for us, right? The syntaxes are very simple and it is more like English language. We can easily understand, we can easily interpret, right? So focus and do lot of hands-on, friends. And we have successfully completed the session on SQL commands. I'll stop it here. I'll take your questions if you have any. If not, before we share the feedback link, I would like everyone to give a like. Okay, just provide your valuable feedback also before you leave. And tomorrow it will be on the next topic, the data type. Excuse me. So friends, also share across your groups, okay, your connections, okay, and ask them to subscribe to our channel because in future we are coming up with new programs, especially programs related to machine learning, deep learning, even generative AI also we are planning, friends. Okay, so if you know when I want to do such kind of programs, we need some kind of you know uh, push from your end also. No, it's not case sensitive. That's what we discussed yesterday, right? It's not case sensitive. Whatever the keywords that you have, you can change the case, and you know, you try to use in SQL, you'll get the results. Yep. In future, we are coming up with new programs, friends. So this is a earlier kind of message that I'm giving from my side. Okay. Probably in the next month, you'll have different sessions on different emerging tools. So one thing that we need from your side is your attendance and proper interaction. These two helps us, you know, to come up with wonderful sessions. So also share across your multiple connections. Ask them to join these sessions. Ask them to learn these technologies, the skill. Okay, and as we move on, I'll talk about more my experience. Whatever I have, I'll share it. Okay, so here is the link provided. Just go and fill the feedback link and mark your attendance. It is like marking your attendance. That's it. Yes. So I feel like we are done for the day. Yes. We'll connect in the next session. Until then, take care. Have a great day. Signing off. Bye.